We are live. We lost her and we went live. Hello, we are here on Stephanie's channel with her stream. She was in the stream and hit the live button, and we were waiting for it to load and go live, and then we lost her. So she will be back in just a moment, I'm pretty sure. Welcome to social stream number 2. And I think she's come back on. I'll let her take over. Maybe. Well, I mean, I guess while we're waiting, Sam, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm writing mom Samantha L Nasset. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. I host live streams similar to this on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we get stuff done and hang out and have a good time. I have samples of my writing on my website, samanthaalnasset.com, which while you're there, you can sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam. And I am one of the 2 co-organizers of this event.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Stephanie. You're here on my channel. I'm having technical difficulties, so mark it off in your bingo square if you have one going on. Hopefully, don't lose me again. I have like 8 books published out there. Links down below. So is Sam's and Shannon's.
And then I'm
also cheese the bingo square a little, and technically someone was late. Technically.
And I'm Shannon. I write under the name of SE Houston, and I do have a channel under the name of SE Houston. I do mostly weekly writing sprints right now. I have a couple of big things coming up. The Author Tube Writing Conference is next weekend, which is going to be awesome. Starts on Friday.
I am sitting outside working off my hotspot on my phone. That is why I'm having a bit of trouble with the connectivity today. But I'm hoping it mellows out after a bit.
I think there's a huge delay between us. And then I also have a book that's coming out. It will be available for, oops, we lost her again. It will be available for purchasing. It's basically like a pre-order because it's on Kickstarter. You can go to the page right now to see it. My link tree is down in the description box below. If you click on it, the very first one there is my Kickstarter. So you can see a picture of the cover, and it is a fantasy romance, and it's called A Curse of Scales and Feathers. I'm really excited about that coming out because I actually wrote the first draft, the entire first draft. It was only 23,000 words because I do a dirty draft. And I wrote the entire first draft during Storytellers Hearth last year. So that was WWW that last year, but it was the 18th and 19th of June. And I wrote the first draft then. So a year later, it's coming out.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I remember I wrote All That Glitters 2 Junes ago during the Storytellers Hearth, and then I released it last summer. So it's exciting to see how the event has grown and to see people like doing projects and completing them and releasing them. It makes it all like it's slightly emotional, Sam.
It is
so awesome.
So I was like, wow, it's almost like 1 year to the day that I wrote the first draft last year. And I think I called it Scales and Feathers because I didn't know what I was going to call it. And then we had the Author Tube Writing Conference in July. And one of our special guest speakers, one of our special guest speakers, she did, Rachel Lackman Singh. She did her presentation on designing or developing your title based off of your genre and things that happen, by genre, that like the different setups and stuff. And from that, I was like, oh, A Curse of Scales and Feathers. So I was like, okay, it's all connected. So Dreaming Truth was the first one to come in. Hello, how are you doing? Richard's like, is this real life? Is this just a fantasy? What are you still doing up? Are you still up? That was a while ago. And then Katie, hello, how are you? All hail Sam. All hail us. They are our gods. Worship them or feel their wrath. I haven't felt their wrath. That's good. Morgan Lee, hello, how are you?
Shannon always gets her stuff in on time, so she has never felt the wrath.
Oh, I guess not. Stephanie, you are with us in spirit, if not on screen. Yes. And then a romance, yeah. And it's a dragon shifter romance, not technically bestiality. No. It's got shifters in it. It's got a dragon in it. There's a curse. It's set up in an epic fantasy like setting. So it's not urban fantasy. It's not contemporary. It's epic fantasy. I think we might have Stephanie back. And then Andrea, hello. What are you guys working on today? What are you working on today, Sam?
I'm trying to get, so I had a list of things I wanted to get done yesterday so I could just focus on writing this weekend, but the zoo wiped me out. So I slept most of yesterday and a lot of this morning. So I'm trying to like quickly play catch up with those things and then focus on at least starting the draft for my pit fighter shifter story, where my Jaguar shifter pit fighter tries to help a uptown socialite not be murdered.
So contemporary urban fantasy kind of like setting, or
yeah, I'm bouncing between like contemporary fantasy and just paranormal fantasy, because I don't know how it's going to be a fantasy world. It's not our world, so
secondary,
probably
second Earth trope.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
like it's definitely going to be inspired by ours. And no, it's not bestiality. They don't do anything in the non-human form.
I don't have like any spicy scenes. I don't think. I mean, there's like a couple makeout scenes, but there's no. It doesn't go any further than that. So
I don't think I do yet. I still have to finish my outline is almost done. I just have 2 fight scenes to finish, and then I'm gonna go back through it and see. There's a couple spots where I'm like, do I need to connect this to this? I don't know. Future Sam, figure it out. So Future Sam is here, and she needs to figure it out.
I am working on actually a new timer. I should have done it earlier today because I did nothing but AWC stuff all day today. I wrote all the outlines for our shows, the closing session, opening session. I did all that during the other streams. And then I started working on this timer. I was like, man, I should have done this timer earlier today. I could have used it now, but it's almost done. Just putting it together. Still got to render, which is going to take a while. So, but I'm doing it as basically a book trailer. And I will, after I finish doing the timer, then I'll take the part out that's the book trailer, because book trailer is only like 30 or 45 seconds long, and I'm just repeating it over and over again. And so, but yeah, I've had fun working on that in the last couple hours, but I should have done that first. All right, so we have a few people who have
hindsight and all that.
Yeah, I'll use it tomorrow for my stream. Richard says thank you. NCB, hello, how are you doing? What are you working on today? Katie says today I will be working on a new ghostwriting project. It is a steamy military romance. Is this for you, or is? Oh no, it's a ghostwriting project. When I first read ghostwriting, I was thinking like ghost, like you're writing about a ghost.
Same. It took me a moment too.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Yeah. Huge artillery pieces. No. Okay, I'm going to grade a few tests so I can start working on Laura's stream, or start writing on Laura's stream. Gotcha. Be careful while handling. No. Hello, Eva. How are you? Yes, already sown chaos. Is it an AWC themed timer? No, I don't actually have one of those. It's Stephanie picked it out. Huh?
I said you have a week to get one.
I can. Stephanie.
I'm here. I'm gonna give it another try. Okay. If not, then I guess I will just chat with people in this chat box there up to the right. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Right.
It happens. Try
You amply prepared for this before the stream, so you're good.
I did. I gave Shannon all the abilities to do whatever she needs to do on here, so I was prepared. I was just hoping I wouldn't come to that, but oh well.
And then Eva is working on critique read. It says dystopian. I think our lag might be fixed.
I think so too.
Yeah. So if you want to take over, Stephanie, go ahead.
Okay, where are you just going through the comments? Or yeah,
and they were answering the question, what are you working on today?
Okay. So yeah, Ava says the happy ever after may not be a thing, but it's what I anticipate, or a betrayal to just miss it. Okay. Yes, Tech Revens, I'm back for now. We'll see how long you get my pretty face. Stevie says I'm okay. I'm working on Start for President 2 Operations MCU.
Nice.
Richard says my gun has an impressive caliber. Nope, we're not. We're gonna ignore Richard. Yep. Yes. All right. And CV says glitches happen. Yes, that's true. And I am back. But we're who are you mean to? Who is that directed at?
I think she's saying that to Richard because he said he's always nice to you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yes. Okay. I am working on staying on screen and working on some more outlining of it's a fantasy adventure story, probably more adult than middle grade, but I got it from watching Xena Warrior Princess, how her companion Gabrielle goes on adventures to different towns, and there's magic and dragons and talking animals in it. But like I said, I don't know if it's adult or middle grade. My main character still doesn't have a name. I don't have a title, and I don't have a map of the world, but it's 28,000 words written, so I can't really just say never mind now. I'm that far.
That's a good
keep
chunk.
going. Yes, it is. I was reading it to my kids. We were driving, I don't know, across one state, and I was reading it to my kids off my phone. And we get to a point, and I knew it was coming to an end. Like it ended like in the middle of a scene, like not finished. and so I stopped, and he goes, "Well, what happens next?" I said, "Do you really want to know?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Sorry, I have to write it first." He's like, he was so he's not bugging me to finish writing it. So he liked it. I mean, I hadn't read it in like a year, so I read it. Parts of it made me laugh. So if it made me laugh, I think it's pretty good.
What better accountability buddies than children who will harass you endlessly?
How many words did you write today? That's your favorite thing to say when I get off the computer. How many words did you write? How many words did you write? How many chapters?
Is the next chapter done?
It would be if you stop asking. No. Okay, so Emma is here. And I'm shocked.
That's me.
Okay. Can you explain the I have a loop apparently because I'm not. What is that?
So Emma likes to give us all nicknames, and that was actually my call sign when I worked for the Marine Corps as a civilian because Shannon has one N in it, and I become Shannon with 2 N's or Sharon. And so whenever I would say it's Shannon and I put in parentheses 1 N, then that became my call sign. I told the story to Andy, who told it to Emma, who then said 1 N is my name. So.
All right. I have always wondered. So Emma's saying hi to everybody. And so you saying hi back, Ava. And exactly. None of those metaphors, okay? Just center my eyes here. No. So Samantha or Sam, what do you like to go by?
Either.
Samantha,
it doesn't matter. I answer to all.
Sammy.
I answer to that too. I
I
am
really
answering to all of my nibblings. Yeah. Well, because like when I was a kid, my sisters and cousins would call me Sammy, and so they will still call me Sammy sometimes, and they'll be like, "Go to Aunt Sammy." So to all my nibblings, I am Aunt Sammy.
And so, Stephanie, have you had?
Oh my God, Ava! Sorry, yeah, Samarella is actually what my mother calls me because I am older than my sisters by 5 and 6 years, and we shared a room. And I would clean the room on Friday, go spend the night at my friend's house, and then come back, and it would be, dirty because my sisters sort of dirtied it, and I would get in trouble, and so I would complain about it, and my mom would tease me and be like, "Samarelli, like from Cinderella." So,
have you gone by Steph?
Yeah, I've gone by Steph, Stephanie. My in-laws, when me and my sister-in-law are in the same room or house or gathering, they'll call me Steffi, and they're the only ones that call me Steffi. It irritates me to no end. Anyone else does it. And the reason they call me Steffi is because my husband's sister's name is also Stephanie. Like we had the same first name and now last name. It's not weird. It's fine.
I always envy people who could have nicknames for their name because you really can't get a nickname as Shannon. Not one that has something to do with Shannon.
Right. Yeah, it's usually, and then my stepmom's ex-husband nicknamed me Sam the bartender because I would, when I was a teenager, bring them alcohol or beer from the fridge, and for some reason that stuck for like 10 years of my life.
What was it? You say Steph?
Sam.
Oh, Sam?
Sam, the bartender. I
Sam
don't
the
even know
bartender.
how that even like came
Yeah.
out. Don't even. But that was like when I
People
was,
are like, S names interchangeable.
yeah, right.
Oh wait, we all have S names.
Yeah, I just thought
Oh,
about that. I
good.
was like, I am Shannon now. You get to be you get to be Sam. You'll be Steph. It's all good. No one will get confused. I will literally like answer to anything that has Sam in it, so you're good. Especially since like when we like did language classes or something, and you know you like have to my like French one was just Samuel because they don't have a French equivalent of Samantha, just Samuel.
Oh.
And then like it that because Samantha is distinctly an English name that was created in the American colonies by mixing by mixing Samuel and Amanda. So like when other languages translate it, it's just Sam plus something. So like in Japanese, it's Samantha. And so it's
Okay.
like, yeah. So I answer to everything Sam related.
The S crew.
The S crew.
We're gonna have to get together again, and it'll be like
Yeah.
a thing now. It says hard to tell what is boundary and what is harmless in text. Always a point to clarifying.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I rather screws would be better to use because it's another S word.
That's right.
Triple S sprint. Oh yeah.
Okay. That's the end for now. Sam, what are you working on today? I didn't hear you, so you might be repeating.
It's a shifter pit fighter story where my Jaguar shifter is going to try to help an uptown socialite not be murdered. And they got to figure out who's trying to murder her and why.
It's almost like a murder mystery then. At the same time as being
Well, the murder mystery is like solved pretty quick, so that's the only reason I'm like that's because I considered that. I was like, is it a mystery? And then I'm like, no, they figure it out pretty quick. Yeah.
Now, is Richard being serious? Did he really think CV was a robot? Mm-hmm.
You can say
I can't read between the screens.
Nope.
There's no tone in text except the tone we apply, and we must know. I suspect. No.
I'm the opposite. Ava is my first real name, but most people just call me by my middle name. I'm too open online to bother concealment. That's me. Most people know everything. I'm like, know where I am, know where I'm like, I don't really care if people know what state or city I'm in, because in another week or two it's totally different. So nobody's you can't like stalk me. Not really. Maybe stalk me online, but not stalk me. Like just 2 days ago I was in the middle of Texas, and now I'm in the middle of Tennessee, so who knows where I'm going to be a week from now.
Whereabouts in Tennessee? I mean,
I know, but like, you guys won't know. Like we're like an hour north of Mississippi.
Okay, so you're at the bottom
below us. Like
I thought you were gonna be like an hour north of Nashville. I was like, I too am an hour north of Nashville. But
I've had my identity taken twice.
In a week, I will be an hour.
Share everything.
In a week, I will be an hour-ish southeast of Nashville.
Ooh.
Yes. I only know that because I looked it up to see how close we were to natural.
That's fair. I'm half and half. I will share just about anything about myself, but then like there are I try to keep very specific things not public because I have kids. So
yeah, I try not to bring my youngest kiddo online. He's asked before if he can come be on the camera. I'm like, no. And he was like, why? I said, I'm going to wait until you're older and you can make an informed decision about whether or not you want to have your likeness on the internet.
That's fair. I don't put I let my kids, I post them younger than a lot of other parents, But like I've talked to them, and like I don't post any pictures of them or something that I don't show them. I'm like, is this okay? And they will not have their own social medias until they are adults. So I use mine as a way for them to kind of gauge and judge without them having direct contact with it.
Yeah.
Because if anybody wants to DM anything, like if they see my kid's photo or something and they want to DM, they have to DM me. Can't DM my kids. So
There's a lot of crazy people out there.
So I still, like, in a way, I act as a barrier. But also they play a lot of online games.
So
the Roblox lobbies.
My oldest son came back in the house. Came back, and we went and got her from Oregon a couple of months ago. She had her own cell phone, which thing, but she was on like TikTok and Twitch and like just different stuff. So you have to delete TikTok. You're 14. You don't need to be on there. Just she keep on following me, and I'm like, you can't follow me on because I follow administrators. Can't be watching the type of videos that they share. Like,
We may be losing Steph.
I think we're losing her.
Older than you are.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Dang
wait.
it.
She's coming back.
Maybe.
No, I spoke too soon.
Oh, I just talking and you guys not heard me, so it's weird. It's fine. Okay.
Say a sentence.
I'm here. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I can sing if you'd like. Okay, you hear me good. I was just saying that, like, my old sister, she had a TikTok account and made her delete it. Like, awesome, totally. And then my other daughter, my sister, and there's like 3 that she sees on there. And she has her phone. My 13-year-old has them. So
I'm trying to piece it together so I can summarize.
I'm partially tone deaf, so I'm not able to put any of it together.
From what I have gathered, one of her children, I think, keeps following her on TikTok. And she keeps telling them not to follow her on TikTok because people can see her kid from the fact that they've followed. And I think there's a 13-year-old with a phone.
Yes, my 13-year-old has a phone. It's for speaking. She's grown. Anything. Nothing. Nothing done.
Okay. See, I will say for me, it's well, like, I guess for all of us, we are like the first generation of parents who have to like raise our kids in this world so heavily drenched in technology. And there's like so many opportunities for them being exposed to the internet and stuff. That's like the new Spider-Man movie. There is a segment in the movie that was actually animated by a 14-year-old kid because he did Spider-Man animatics on YouTube, and the studio reached out to him. And it's like, yeah, so that's like one of those things where if he hadn't been allowed to post that stuff online, he wouldn't have had that opportunity. And like, could you imagine him applying to an animation college later on with that?
I know, on his resume,
on his resume.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of those things. And there's like this guy on TikTok who his daughter does special effects makeup, and she's like only 4 or 5, but like her skill for special effects makeup is phenomenal. And so she like is getting some stuff like that's gonna like open doors and stuff for them when they're older. So it's like it's this fine line of protecting them but also allowing them to like create opportunities and stuff for themselves. And there is no precedence for it. So it's like we can't learn from anybody else. We've got to like just try to figure it out.
But my kiddo that I have at home, he's special, special needs or you know, he's
Yeah,
autistic and anxiety and also ADHD. So
oh yeah, you got to take all that into account.
yeah,
too.
I take a lot of precautions with him. I said the wrong word there, but because my mind is somewhere else. I was like, what is it called? What's it called? And I couldn't remember what it was called.
It's okay.
Neurodivergent.
There you go. Yeah. I see in chat, Eva's kiddo does shorts. He can't do lives or chat online,
Nope.
But it's a different era, and she does the posting parts.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's where she to search.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't understand anything. I'm hop into a sprint early. Okay, so she left out to go join a sprint. Sorry, Stephanie. Sounds like child labor violation.
No, at least in the USA, there are contracts and stuff. Depending on what industry it's in, his parents just have to sign off on it. And I don't think if it's covered under, there are certain child acting laws now that at least a portion of what the children are paid has to go into a special savings account that their parents can't touch.
Yeah.
That's just for them when they're 18. So
we've had so many young actors and actresses whose
parents used
their
them
money.
and yeah. Technology isn't all great. It has a very dark side, and kids need to be aware of this and protected from it without stifling them. Yeah. I always encourage my youngest cousins to go online with a grown-up they trust or an older sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't. He likes YouTube, so I put him on. We have like an app for YouTube Kids, and we've monitored that just to make sure that it's good, and that's what we let him use. So, oh no, somebody says I give up. Okay, should we go ahead and maybe get into a sprint then?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do our first sprint.
Okay, let's see. Try to see if she had any other banners that she might want up, but I don't see anything. All right. And we're going to do 20 minutes. Let me take that banner off. And we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Hello, hello.
Right.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Am I moving appropriately? Okay. Good. I didn't almost cry. It's fine. It was just frustrating, is all.
Okay. It's totally understandable.
Yeah,
What are you
you're
eating? Pizza?
I am
Nachos?
no, it's
Enchilada?
toast and an omelet.
That sounds good, actually. It does. I put a bunch of chicken thighs in the crock pot, and so I told the kids and the husband, make burritos, make a sandwich, whatever. I don't care. So one time I'm not dishing you up dinner. I always like dish them up dinner and bring it to them. So I'm like, whatever you want to do, it's there. Don't tell me you're hungry at 8 o'clock because it's not my problem. They'll forget to eat sometimes. So
Yeah. I talked to my husband for a bit and made myself food. And I helped him get started on dinner. He's making dinner for the kids and stuff.
nice.
what is he making for dinner?
Spaghetti.
One of my kids actually does not like spaghetti or sloppy joes or
One of mine goes through phases.
hamburger.
Yeah. One of mine goes through phases where he says he doesn't like spaghetti. And it's like, but do you? Because you ate it last week.
She's the same one that was like, I don't like chili. I'm like, when did you have chili? I made it in home ec class at school. What was in it? She made a vegetarian chili. I'm like, well, there's your problem. I mean, nothing against like vegetarian chili, but I'm like, that's probably why you didn't like it. So when I make chili, I make it like in a 6-quart crock pot. That'll last us like a couple of days. Yeah, it was good. She liked it. She ate it both days. Pretty pleased with myself that a picky eater ate my chili.
Oh, yeah, that's always so gratifying.
My youngest kiddo hardly eats anything at all. He eats no noodles, no rice, no veggies. So making dinner is interesting.
We because all the kids started going through like weird food phases. So what we did is when we go grocery shopping, we're like, okay, so here's your food budget, and you can buy whatever you want with this food budget. The only rule is you have to be able to make it without me.
Nice.
And so they each get like a section in the freezer and stuff, and they're all really good at staying under budget. But they'll like they get stuff that like varies from TV dinners to like sandwiches or salads from the deli and stuff, and I'm like, this works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then once or twice a week we will have family dinner where we all eat the same dinner, but like doing it this way has saved so much headache, so much work for now. So for now, this is what we're going with.
Katie got a little over 900 words at Sprint. It's awesome. She's a fast writer, typer. CB downloaded Pokemon Go and caught a cast form, and they are at 117 words, T-minus 10 minutes until bedtime. So,
fair.
And that's a great idea because it teaches them math skills and basic cooking. I was thinking the same thing. We have just started teaching Julian how to, because most of the stuff that he eats is stuff that you put in the microwave, which I'm constantly talking to him like, this stuff is not good for you. This is bad for your body. And it's the reason why he's like on all these vitamins and he has to take iron because he doesn't eat enough meat, but he doesn't like any different meats. So I started teaching him that, but he does have his own section in the freezer too, but only because my husband and I, we don't eat all that stuff. That's all his stuff. So we've tried, and he will try anything that I give him, but I do tell him, but it's because I gave him the out. Like with my husband, he didn't want to try things because my husband wouldn't do it, but the out is you have to try it, you have to chew it. If you don't like it, you can spit it out. But my husband's like, I'm not doing that. And, he hasn't been home most of the most of Julian's younger life because he was in the military and he was gone all the time. So shortly after he retired and we were all together, and he was like, Julian, you're going to eat all this. And he gave him like this big spoonful of mixed foods. And I was like, that is like the wrong thing. And he's like, you got to swallow it. He didn't get it down his throat. He started throwing it up everywhere.
Oh.
And then Kevin felt really bad about it. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I didn't say anything then. I waited until Julian was gone. And I was like, I told you. Don't do that with him. And then he went and apologized again to Julian. And Julian's like, why are you sorry? That's okay.
Aw.
He was very sweet about it.
Yeah, like we've always when we talk to their pediatrician and stuff, it's while it is important that they get, you know, different things and at the moment where they are with their health and everything, it's just more important for them to just eat, period. But I am kind of lucky because my 3 definitely learn by example. And like, I like salad. I love salad. I'll eat salad for breakfast or for lunch. And so my youngest, she also likes salad, and she loves eating salad for things. So she'll make herself a salad. And so because they've seen that Chris and I eat a wide variety of things, they also like to eat a wide variety of things. And every time I like take them into the pediatrician for a checkup, and they're like, well, do you eat a lot of like fruits and vegetables? And like my oldest will be like, I love broccoli. And she'll be like, oh, do you? And he's like, yeah.
That was my oldest favorite food too, was broccoli. Like that was his favorite veggie, fruit, whatever. He would choose it first over everything.
My oldest favorite is picadillo, which is like rice, black beans, not rice, black beans, hamburger meat, and a tomato sauce.
Yeah, I usually do stewed tomatoes, and then I like putting golden raisins in there, but my family never liked those.
Chris's mom says that like the Nicaraguan way, you add olives, but he doesn't like olives, so we've never tried it with olives. I want to try it with olives, so I love olives. Sorry, I'm readjusting now.
Cool.
I just realized I left my drink over there, but I just got comfortable with the laptop on my lap. The struggle.
Turn to a Jaguar and go get it.
I'll just be thirsty for a little bit. It's fine.
CB says, I tried spinach a couple weeks ago for the first time. Loved it. I don't like cooked spinach, but I like raw spinach.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like cooked spinach. It's too...
yeah, slimy.
Slimy. Yeah, that's the way to describe it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
I was reading a webtoon the other day, and this guy was just like, he's like, yeah, I have a tomato and a glass of milk for breakfast. And I was sitting there going, yeah, that's normal. He's just like eating the tomato. And then you go in the comment section and everybody's like, why is this man just eating a tomato like an apple? And I was like, why is this so shocking? Like, people kept commenting on it for 4 or 5 chapters. I'm like,
my mother's father did that with onions.
My mom does that with onions. I'm like, which I get. That's the only one that seems weird to me, but that's just because they're so strong. But like, she'll take a potato, bite into it.
A potato I can do, especially like a raw potato with a little bit of salt on it. It's really good. Yeah, I could do that.
Onion is the only one I can't, and that's. I don't particularly like the very strong onions. Although a spring onion I will eat raw. So
corn and sliced smoked sausage. I like both of those things, but not with cooked spinach.
No. Well, we don't really have corn at all in anything. My husband can't eat it. He has a lot of corn and potatoes in his diet. His eardrums will burst and bleed a little bit. He'd always told me that, and then one time I saw some of him in his ear. He's like, "Oh yeah, my eardrum popped. It's fine. I'm used to it. It happens like when he has a lot of corn and potatoes in his diet." So like, when we get into the time where he might be having more mixed drinks at home or whatever, if he has a lot of vodka in a week, it can also, because vodka has potatoes in there. But then there's also a brand of vodka we found in Texas somewhere that is not made from potatoes. It's made from something else, and he could have that. I don't know what kind it was. I forget. All I know is he's able to drink it. But like, meat, potatoes, vegetables, that's like kind of the thing that you're used to eating growing up on a ranch, and he grew up on a ranch. So it took him a while. But you can have like you can have sweet potatoes and red potatoes and yellow potatoes. You just can't have regular white potatoes.
Is it like the Idaho and russet potatoes?
Nope. You can't have those.
Okay, so those are the white potatoes then. Okay.
Yeah, they're like the kind that you would like when you go to this restaurant and get a big potato. That type of potato he can't have. Which bites because like everyone in the house likes potatoes, but I refuse to make two different sides, like two different starchy sides at the same time. I mean, I did for a while, but now we have less counter space to use. And so I'm like, nope, if two people can't have it, either they don't like it or their body doesn't like it, then I'm not going to cook it. I'm done. Because if he has his food aversions and he has his nut allergies, my son has his preservative thing he can't do, and then he can't have a certain type of nut. So I used to be like two different kinds of food and meals, and that got old fast. Well, I did it for like a year and a half, but after that I was like, nope, I'm going to streamline the process here.
Yeah, I get that. I've done it for many years though. My youngest, he only eats like processed foods. He eats like corn dogs and hot dogs and chicken nuggets and pizza rolls and pizza, and we can't eat that all the time. It's not good for you, especially as you get older.
Oh yeah.
So my son, his body doesn't process preservatives like most people's do, and so his body will break out and they're called pseudo hives, but they're hives in reaction to the preservatives in the foods.
Gotcha.
And he's been like that since he's been 5 or 6. For a while, we just thought he was allergic to everything under the sun. I'm just glad he's not actually allergic to everything under the sun.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's actually healthier for him not to eat all those preservatives. So
Yes.
long term. And my husband has GERDs, which is I don't remember what it stands for. It's like gastrointestinal, but basically he gets really, really bad reflux. So he has to chew his food well, and he can't eat things that like steak. He can't eat because there's no chewing it up well enough where it won't come back up again. Which is great because I'm not a fan of steak and I've never learned how to cook it. So then I didn't have to worry about it when I got married. So
Bright sides.
I didn't know if you wanted to put any of these up, Stephanie.
Yeah. So this morning I hopped on here and I was like, what are some questions I could come up with? I admit some of them are kind of but there are some questions I could come up with in case we needed something to talk about or anything. But yeah, we'll do some of them. That's fine. The last movie or TV show I watched an episode of The Flash today. Yes. I've watched the whole series several times. I'm just rewatching my favorite ones. So.
The last movie I watched was the new Spider-Man movie on Sunday, and then the last show I watched, Chris and I are currently going through Kim's Convenience. It's a pretty good show. We're in season 3.
The last movie I watched was, I don't know if I'm saying it, Raya. It's a dragon cartoon.
Raya the Last
Dragon. Yeah, the Last Dragon. Raya. Yeah. So I watched that last weekend with my kiddo, and then I think the week before, my husband and I have started watching How to Get Away with Murder. We're almost done with season 1. I haven't watched TV in almost 2 weeks though, other than that one movie on the weekend last weekend because of the AWC and everything else going on. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Sometimes that's why I had to sit there and I was like, when have I consumed media?
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time it's background noise while I'm tuning people out. Well, I used to be able to tune my husband's snoring out by wearing my earbuds at night, but they stopped working. So that does not happening anymore.
Sorry.
I've been trying to catch up on Cinema Therapy's videos. I'm so behind. I'm behind on everything though.
CB answered here. The Stanley documentary. I can't say that word.
Documentary
on Disney Plus. Before that, I went to see The Flash. It wasn't good at all. I left after 45 minutes. Oh no.
Oh no.
I've heard people either love it or they hate it.
As with all DC movies,
Marvel fan. So, right, Marvel. I think it's just. Is it just
the Flash is DC?
Okay, I was gonna say I know Marvel because they do a lot of flash fiction, fan fiction for with Iron Man and stuff like that. So
yeah. Flash is DC with Batman and.
Gotcha.
To be fair,
Other-
the Stan Lee documentary, that's Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know he worked for Marvel. I'm just trying to remember if he ever worked for DC.
I'm sure I had that somewhere in my brain, but it's not something I can access right now. I do like all of them. I like the Flash. I like the TV shows too. You know, the Flash and Arrow, and I didn't really like Supergirl. I mean, I like the beginning of it, but it got kind of weird.
We're actually watching. We're going through that with the kids. Supergirl. I think we're, I don't know, like episode 6. So we just started watching it.
I like the first couple of seasons, especially like the relationship between the sisters. So, but then after that, it kind of changed, and I wasn't as much into it. Can't have oats, anything with orange in it either. Oh, is it like orange color? Because I know people who are allergic to like anything that's red, like red dyes, but it's not just red dyes. Yeah, just Marvel. Okay, so he or she or they are into just Marvel. I'm sorry, CB. I think I probably knew your pronoun at one time, but I don't remember. No,
I looked it up, and it said he did work for DC for a little bit. He released a comic with them in 2001. But like, Marvel was his baby, and that's where he did all the things.
Because I put Batman in a bad light.
I really just want to see it because it has Keaton in it as playing as Batman, and I watched the movie when he was Batman, when he was much younger, obviously.
I'm trying to remember which one was I want to say Keaton was the Batman Forever Batman.
I don't remember.
I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
Michael.
Oh, okay. Orange color, orange flavoring, oranges. So all of the orange stuff. Okay. That's pretty restrictive then sometimes, depending on what you're eating. I bet that cuts out like a lot of Chinese food.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't like orange, like flavored drinks, and I don't like the smell of freshly peeled oranges, but I like orange juice. That's weird. A lot of people think it's weird.
I don't like tomatoes, but I like ketchup.
Yeah, I'll eat tomatoes like in like chili or like in things, but I don't eat them in salads. I had the best salad the other day though. It was weird. You might like it though, Sam.
What was
Not that you'd like.
No, look. There's no explanation needed. You're good. What was in the salad?
All right. Well, we went to CC's Pizza the other day, and it's like a all-you-can-eat pizza chain.
Yes.
Okay. Well, on the West Coast, they don't have it, and I got introduced when we came further east.
Okay.
So, it was like regular like dinner salad with, what did I put in it? Mushrooms and olives and pepperoncinis and ranch.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked any of it.
I would have given it a try. I'm not mushrooms and I are 50-50, but everything else sounds great.
Oh, and pineapple on the side.
Oh, I like pineapple.
And I've never, like when I was like in 3rd, 4th grade, we had Canadian bacon pineapple pizza at lunchtime. You know, pineapple with Canadian bacon on it. And ever since then, I've never liked pineapple. I've never liked it until yesterday or day before yesterday.
Cooked pineapple is a very different flavor from uncooked pineapple. I like both, but they are very different flavors. Also, if you're baking a pineapple cake and you use pineapple juice in your cake batter to flavor it, it will taste like double bubble gum until it's cooked, and then it will taste like pineapple.
That's interesting.
That was the weirdest thing for me to discover when I like made a pineapple cake and I was putting juice in it and I tasted it and I was like, why does it taste like double bubble? Where have I messed up? Where have I gone wrong? And then I baked it. But it tasted like it was like the best pineapple cake I've ever baked. So I was like, I now know. I don't have enough pineapple in there until it tastes like double bubble gum.
I don't think they have CC's down here.
We have a CC's in town, and we take the kids every now and then. It's funny because, like, my oldest is now technically old enough to be charged as an adult at CC's for some reason. And so when we go there, my husband looked at, or he was like, "No, don't tell them your real age." And my son's like, "But Dad, I don't want to lie." And my husband's like, "I'm not asking you to lie. I'm just asking you to not say anything." And my son looks at me, and I was like, "Just let Daddy be shady. It's fine." And so the last time we went, my husband looks at my oldest, and he's like, "You're 10," and my oldest just goes. And then as we're going through, and my husband lists off, the kids' ages, my oldest just looks at me and he's like, but I'm like, he's so precious. He is just like, he will not lie himself, but he's like, fine, we'll let Dad be shady. It's all good.
Yeah, I think the CC's we went to was in Arkansas, actually. Day before yesterday. I was like, let's eat something. The kids were like Golden Corral, but I'm like, that's a lot of food. It's a lot of like heavy food.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember one in Texas.
That's where I first saw it, was in Texas.
I remember as a kid I hated them because their pizza tasted like cardboard to me. And then like my husband really loves CC's and I couldn't understand why. Then we went to a CC's and I was like, oh, their pizza no longer tastes like cardboard. I guess this is fine.
We've
Maybe
been
you just had bad ones where you grew up.
We've been
It's
to a
the same one though, same
Oh, is
town.
it? Oh, okay.
This is where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think either their pizza got better or just like your taste buds change every 4 or 5 years. So, which is why a lot of times when people like go back and they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to eat this all the time as a kid," and then they taste it and they're like, "Oh, I guess it's not as good as I remember." It probably tastes the same. Your taste buds have just changed. So
I heard it was every 7 years, so that's a different
is it
one.
7?
I don't know. That's what I've heard. I never actually looked it up, so I don't know.
Google away.
Yeah. Because I could very easily be misremembering as every 2 weeks. What? Okay. The average person has about 10,000 taste buds and they're replaced every 2 weeks. But as a person ages, some of the taste cells don't get replaced. An older person may have 5,000 working taste buds. That's why certain foods may taste stronger to you than they do to adults.
We were talking about pineapple on pizza, Richard Holiday. You missed it.
Okay, so it's, your taste buds themselves are replaced every 2 weeks. But as you age, some of your taste cells stop replacing themselves, and that's why your taste change. So there's not a definitive every so many years. It just...
And I think there's catalysts for things because when I was pregnant with my last kiddo, I couldn't stand eating any seafood, and I love seafood. And then I've never been able to eat it again since. I look at shrimp, I'm like, I love that, and I take a bite, I'm like, oh God, that's awful.
Oh yeah, pregnancy like changes absolutely every aspect of your body, and like sometimes it goes back, and other times, nope, it's just
never gone back.
Just you now.
I have tried shrimp several times over the years since I've had him. He's 10 now, so and I still don't like it. I look at it and I'm like, I know I like that, but trying it, I've done it with all kinds of fish, everything. I can't.
I'm sorry, pregnancy hath done that to you. Pregnancy, I think my last pregnancy was the catalyst for my migraines because like before then, I think I had episodic migraines. And so I'd have a couple a month. But after my third pregnancy, that's when they became chronic. And I just live with them now. That's all right.
You gotta get pregnant again. Get pregnant again so you can get rid of them.
No! No, never again, Shannon. I have 3. I like my 3.
Yeah. I struggled getting my 2. There's 12 years between them because it was hard for me to get pregnant. When I did, I kept losing babies. So, and they told me if I ever did have another one, I probably wouldn't be able to get pregnant again. And that's exactly what happened. So I got my 2.
Mine are, my family is just like, we're kind of the opposite. We're ridiculously fertile. And so I refused to even attempt sex until like I was married because I was like, nope, not dealing with it. And then like we were pregnant before our first wedding anniversary. And there's 3 years between my oldest and my youngest. So I was like, nope, we're done. We've got 3 under 3 and I want no more. And I'm happy with this decision. My baby sister had her second baby last year. She's having her third baby this year. It's a rainbow baby. We're very happy. And Yeah, I'll just borrow babies now, but I'm good.
Yeah, but that's not
Like,
going to change your migraines, you know.
no, menopause is what I'm looking forward
No.
to now,
There you
because
go.
like my mom had chronic migraines, and after she had menopause, she gets 1 migraine a year, and I'm like, that sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
One of my aunts was like, no, you don't want to deal with menopausal symptoms, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with hot flashes. I get those. I don't want to deal with cold flashes. I get those. I don't want to deal, and I like listed 4 or 5 things that you get through menopause, but also get with migraines. I'm like, I'm already there, Auntie. Just let me have it. It'll be fine.
I found that my
Children.
migraines are lately, over the last year, I found that they're more triggered by changes in elevation.
So
No,
you get
changes in air pressure.
Pressure?
So like if
Yeah.
we're
yeah,
driving and
barometric
we roll up the
migraines.
windows, I have to plug my ears and like hold my breath and then wait a few minutes and unplug them, because like when we roll up the windows and I forget to do that, they'll like hurt, and then the next day I'll have a migraine without raining.
Silence hurts my ears because I'm so sensitive to the barometric pressure changes. Yeah, estrogen's my number 1 trigger, but after that one, then it is barometric pressure changes is the number 1. And I live in Tennessee, which like there is actually a list of the 10 best places and the 10 worst cities in the US to live with migraines. Tennessee boasts at least 4 cities on the top 10 worst.
I
And
did.
they all surround me.
Oh, no.
Well, aren't you
So,
lucky? No.
I know.
That
Somebody was like, why don't you just move? And I'm like, because I love where I live. It just doesn't love me. It's fine. I'll survive this toxic relationship. It's okay.
it's fine. I had also found, like, because we've been traveling a bit for a while, I also found that, or like the Pacific Northwest does have cleaner air than over here. And I know that because I'm from the Pacific Northwest in Oregon, and then I came all the way down to Texas, and we were there for almost like 11 months. And by month 9, I was for sure thought I had like a tumor growing in my lungs, and I didn't want to go to the doctor to figure out why I was rattling. You could hear me wheezing from across the room over the AC. But as soon as I went back to Oregon, it was gone. So the air just doesn't like me down here. But I really like the area, so I'm staying.
We are fine in our toxic relationships with our environment. It's okay.
We live in like a 32-foot RV, and so the AC in the RVs are really loud. And my children could hear me wheezing over them when I was breathing. That's how loud it was. But yeah, I'm okay. I know that I don't have a tumor growing in there or a tree or anything.
At least
so.
there's that.
Yeah.
Samantha took up knitting.
I crochet, actually. It's not by me. There was a dice bag that I had crocheted that was just chilling here, and now it's not. I'll find it later.
Yeah, like you guys, is the air pressure, and CB says the same thing for her as well. The air pressure causes bad headaches. Yeah, or migraine.
Ooh, where in Tennessee?
You'll be fine,
Ava?
Richard. Although, Richard, if you do go through pregnancy, let us know.
Right.
We'll be here to support you.
We'll do a Kofi.
What part of Tennessee? It's a very wide state.
Knoxville.
Ah.
That's a little far out of my range to see ya. Sorry.
Same. Couple hours.
Yes.
Does food pregnancy count? No. Although the last convention I worked, after my boss spent the entire weekend feeding us, and like on Sunday, I like walked into our hotel room, and the hotel has like this full length mirror, and I looked over and I put my hands on my belly and I looked at my coworker and I'm like, no, my food baby looks like my baby did. I'm not okay with this.
Daughter was there. We drove through the state last trip, but I think we're going down through Indiana this time.
I wish you safe travels.
He says they're nearish to Knox. We call it a full stop here.
Yeah.
Hold on though, I need to know. Are you just joking, or is that actually like slang for a period? Because
No,
that
no, no.
would be hilarious.
No. When they write sentences, like if you're dictating, you say period at the end of a
I
sentence.
know.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's why I want to know. I want to know if like, because I know they call a grammar period a full stop. So
Mhm.
if they also call a menstrual period a full stop, that would be ridiculous.
Oh, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you want to hang out? No, full stop.
See, it would be such great slang.
That would be funny.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hello. She used to live near to Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, yeah.
Okay, so those are some of the places I've been in Dollywood.
Yo, we're going to the Pigeon Forge Gatlinburg area for family vacay next month.
We always wanted to go to Gatlinburg when we lived in Kentucky, but we just never had the time.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we've seen pictures. We had friends who went all the time, but with Kevin being military and he was gone, we just couldn't find the time where I wasn't teaching and he wasn't gone at the same time.
This will actually be like our first family vacation this year, because this is the first time that we've had time and have been able to budget up to it. So we're so excited to take the kids.
Yeah, and Gatlinburg is expensive. So
it depends. Actually, they've got a lot of very nicely placed. Dollywood is costly, but it's still like cheaper than a lot of other places. So a lot of their tourist things, like they have expensive things, but they also have like cheap or like budget friendly things. And part of that is because of how Dolly wanted to rebuild that town so that the economy was friendly. Like parking, you park anywhere in Gatlinburg for $10 for the whole day. And it's like, that sounds like a lot, but like in other cities, it's anywhere between 25 to 50. And that's like, for a couple hours. But because the city of Gatlinburg owns all the parking space, then it's just $10 everywhere. And their trolley system is amazing. So it's a good budget friendly place to go, but it does still cost a lot of money, especially when you're a family of 5. So
we really wanted to go down. They have a place down there where they had like so many different spices. Like they had the store was like all spices from and hundreds of different types of spices. So we always wanted to go down and visit that. I don't remember the name of it now. It's been too many years, but
I don't. There's so much to do down there. My husband and I have gone a couple times for like our special anniversary trip, and like we have not seen even half of everything. But it does not surprise me. There's like all the spices store.
I have not been to anywhere in Kentucky, and this is the first time I've been in Tennessee, so it's all new to me. We're yeah.
Are you liking it here?
I am. People were complaining it was hot here yesterday. It was only got to like 86, which I just left Texas like 2 to 3 days ago. It was much hotter than that, so I'm totally fine with it.
Nikki just said it's very hot here. Or very hot here in the summer.
I worked a convention in Texas last month, and it was funny because like I went to Texas and it felt so nice. It was so like good there, but they have a drier heat. And then I came back to Tennessee and I was like, why is it hotter here than it was in Texas? Let me go back.
Yeah, I lived there for a few years in Reno, and there it's really dry, super dry heat. And
I was in the because it also Texas is huge, Tennessee is huge. So I was outside of Dallas, Irving. I was in Irving, Texas.
Okay,
so.
Yeah, that's definitely more drier than, let's say, down by Houston. That's closer to the Gulf Coast. That's muggy, very muggy.
I would imagine so.
Try the desert in Kuwait. It was regularly 131 during the summer. It was very dry though, no humidity.
Gerd says the little cord made it explode or explosively inflate like the life jacket on a plane. I can't even read that.
He used to think the little cord on a feminine product made it explosively inflate like a life jacket on a plane.
Oh.
Yes, because we need saving.
All right. We had a Euro Dollywood. And it says my Airbnb was a farm. It was super cheap.
Nice.
And Nikki says, Knox has some fun places too, not the same, but nice to visit. Like, iJam's Nature Center. I can read, I promise.
Oh yeah, Tennessee and some of our surrounding state. I can only speak to us because this is the area I'm familiar with. We have a lot of like really nice nature parks and everything. Like where we went yesterday, we went to the Kentucky Down Under Zoo, and the Mammoth Cave system is, well, part of the Mammoth Cave system is there. It's a huge ass cave system, goes through lots and lots of states, but yeah, so it was like really nice to there. The breeze was nice, the weather was nice, and they had a nature park like on the way there that we're thinking about going to some other time. But yeah, if you like outdoorsy things that are still like near-ish to civilization, it's a really good area.
Yes, nature plus civilization is a good combo.
Yeah, my husband's a city boy, so we always have to be near-ish civilization.
Same, yeah.
Vicky says, yes, you have to go in the summer for the water rides, though it is very hot here in the summer. You know, I tried going north to like Indiana and Illinois through like August and September, and it's very popular up there because they have, like Wisconsin, for example, is known as the water park capital of the U.S. I did not know that until I tried going there this summer. At the last, like I hadn't planned on leaving Texas at all until like January or February, but I was like, let's go up north to Chicago. Nope, not there. I'm like, all right, let's go more east. We're planning to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania by Labor Day. We're going to slowly work our way up there, very slowly.
We went to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I had my second miscarriage there.
Oh,
Liked all the chocolate.
I was about to ask, did you eat chocolate?
Yes, and my husband doesn't like chocolate, so I got all of his chocolate.
Oh, yes. My children are now chocolate connoisseurs with me. So, like, I'll get, like, for birthdays and holidays and stuff, I'll get chocolate samples of different things. And they always want to check out the chocolates with me. My oldest has recently become obsessed with volcanic salt because my friend Fox sent us some Icelandic chocolates that had volcanic salt in them. It's different. It's very strong. I like it too.
What does it taste like? Like, is there like an analogy?
So when I first tasted it, I was like, this is a super strong sea salt with a slightly more, I don't want to say sour, but kind of like tart, a more tartness to it. And then I saw on the package that it said volcanic salt, and I was like, whoa. But yeah, if I remember correctly, when I looked it up, the way that they get the salt is the water and stuff around the volcanoes or like volcano pools. They take the salt from there.
Oh, okay, that's cool. To say I ate from a volcano.
Yes, and the chocolate company was in Nashville, so Stephanie, if you want to get yourself some,
there you go.
We do have plans to go there at least twice, because the next campground area we're going to stay at is like an hour from it, so it's doable.
Just be very careful driving in Nashville. They don't know how to drive there. I'm sure you're used to that, but
yeah, where were we at? I think we were either in eastern Arkansas or just across we're in Memphis. Here's where it was. We like had to slam on our brakes twice because we noticed in Memphis that they didn't have any bike lanes. You know, like there's no like actual lanes on the side of the road for bikes to go in. So
Nashville doesn't either.
Oh, okay.
Not that I know.
Yeah, we thought that was weird because in Oregon, where we're from, like there's bike lanes all over the place.
Also,
it's very bike friendly.
The highway there is so confusing because it'll be like 4 highways, and then 2 highways go this way, 2 highways go that way. But then these highways are going to merge with 2 other highways again. So you're like constantly trying to figure out which the fuck highway you're taking. It's like somebody with a Hot Wheels car set was like, let's redo Nashville again.
You guys hear the thunder?
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was me.
I thought it was thundering here. I was like, oh, we get the storm.
It just shook the whole house.
Oh, wow.
house like brr. Fair.
Should air conditioner though because of climate change. And Nikki says, "Oh, that's really great." And yeah, Ava says 84 here, 2 hours till sunset.
I don't even know what it is here because I'm in the house. And what do we have the house set at right now? 68.
Hold on.
Press 74.
Loading. Oh, it is 88. Feels like 91 outside.
And I think ours is low because we're raining right now.
I will say, going from Tennessee to Texas, I was picked up from the airport by a woman whose family is from Texas, and it felt the same because old Southern like mom type person, and she's all like, "Did you eat yet? Do you need to eat? Should we go pick you up some food?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine." And she's like, "Okay." And then like her husband called her, and he was like, "Hey, you need to pick up another of those baked potatoes. It fell on the floor." And her daughter goes, "He ate it." And I was like, so Southern. So, I knocked my headset out.
Stevie says they haven't been to Tennessee yet. They were in Texas, New York, and Maryland last year, and Texas, Nevada in 2019.
And Richard and CB just left out too.
Okay.
I hope they get some good sleep.
I'm behind these comments. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Nikki says it was 90 here today, and 104 in Vegas. Last year, I was in North Texas on the 4th of July, and it was 107 with the heat index. That was fun.
I don't remember. The hottest I've ever experienced was between 101 and 110, and that is all I remember. It's somewhere in there. Babe, what's the hottest you've ever had? He shrugged in Floridian.
Yeah, and when we were out in the desert, the talk is where I worked at was a tent for the headquarters for my company, and the air conditioner went out, and it was 130 degrees outside.
Oh God!
It was one of the few times that I was allowed to work without my top on, and I mean like the jacket. We still had the t-shirt on underneath, but normally that's not allowed. But we were allowed to do it, and I was still soaking through everything.
You were baking.
Mm-hmm.
They were
it was
broiling you.
I think
I'm at the end.
Oh no, there's one more.
There's one more. Bonnie being Bonnie.
Oh, there you go.
And I say I thought maybe CB might be over in the UK, but I don't know. I don't remember.
I think you're right. I think so.
Yeah.
I'm like 80% sure you're right.
Yeah. I'm about 75% sure I'm right.
I defer to you too because I don't know if I ever knew. But my shot is like still my body is still adjusting to being back on the shot. So my brain has moments of very distinct clarity, and then it's just gone again. So
And the only
if
thing
I ever do, I can't access it right now.
It's because when they were talking about their food that they can and can't have, the way they spelled things made it seem like they're from the UK.
And I think she's been to my sprints before, but it's been a minute since I've seen her, so I don't remember. I have a hard time recalling from day to day.
We're all just trying to rub our faulty memory chips together.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes this amazes me what I remember. Like, I remember things that are not current, but like the current things, like, I don't know. But then
so your
there'll be
long-term memory is good, but your short-term memory is questionable?
Yeah, that's what I say for me.
Yeah. Although, like, sometimes I'll like tell me a story that happened in the past, and I can't think of a certain word recall, but that's not because we had long-term, short-term memory stuff. It's just because I have holes in my brain from my MS. I mean, not really holes. They just look like holes on the MRI because there's white splotches on them.
My uncle has MS. Me and him were like joking a bit about it last time I was over at his house because we were cleaning out the bathroom and there were a lot of my cousin's wife's hygiene products in there and stuff. There was a pregnancy test specifically that, or just an open box. And he was like, well, I don't think I need those. I'm like, are you sure your MS hasn't given you the power to grow a baby? He's like, no, not yet. Because I have chronic migraines and he has that, and a lot of our symptoms overlap sometimes.
Right.
And so, yeah, we'll just like joke around about them and stuff. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm 30 going on 60. How old do you feel today? And he'll be like, I think I'm in the 80s. And I'm like, oh, man, you were 70 yesterday. And he's like, I know. So.
Yeah. So my son is almost 11, so I've been diagnosed almost 11 years.
I don't
10 years,
remember
11 years.
when my
Yeah, I got diagnosed like a month and a half. No, I got diagnosed like 2 weeks after he turned a year old. My whole right side went completely numb in October, and he turned a year old in December. And it literally happened overnight. Just woke up and 2 days later, all gone.
Do you remember if Uncle Danny was diagnosed with MS before or after we moved back here? Yeah, no, because he had already. Yeah, so it's been at least 11. It's been at least 10, 11 years, but I don't remember exactly. Because he was a trucker and he had to retire from trucking because when he got his diagnosis.
It's one of the reasons I'm not a driver in the family. The D&B has never said I can't drive. It's just my right peripheral vision on my right side here is a little wonky. Like I would literally walk into people sometimes on that side, or my kids will come on that side and scare the crap out of me because I don't see them until they're right there. So I choose not to drive. And even if I could drive, my husband's like, I'd rather be the one driving. I feel safer. Not because I'm a horrible driver, but because he's been in the passenger seat when there's been accidents from the driver not paying attention. So I'm in charge of driving, or I'm in charge of navigating, telling him where to turn, where to pull off to, park or whatever, and snack time in the car.
Yeah, for my uncle, it's like it's a day-to-day thing because for the most part, if it's not a bad day, then he still feels comfortable and confident enough to drive. But like if he's disoriented, or there's a word for it and I can't remember what it is. It's when your balance is off in your head.
Your equilibrium.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
If his equilibrium is off that day, then he'll like call someone in the family to help him drive to run his errands.
I thought echolocation, and I knew that was.
That's a bat.
I was like, I knew that sounded right.
He has become a man bat. No, he. I think for him, driving is being able to drive is still a big point of thing because he was a truck driver for so long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and as long as he just drives in town and stuff. He never drives if he has to go out of town for anything, definitely like one of us drives him. But in town and stuff, he drives for the most part. We should do the second.
Yeah.
Sprint.
Let's do the second one.
Yeah, get that out the way.
Let me get going in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Real quickly, I'm gonna just say I misunderstood, and I thought you were like closing the stream down. I was panicked a moment.
Hmm.
I was expecting to hear beep, but I did not, which is nice because they're always, sometimes they're a little jarring, but.
Yeah, I don't think I have it on that one, which is one of my earlier ones. If I didn't put anything on there, now I put like a little like a monk sound, like the monk gong sound.
Oh, okay.
Very soft. I don't like that either. Getting like, oh wait.
Yeah, there's this other channel I watch, the Courtney Project, and
Yeah.
she has this howler on there that is.
Yes.
I always have to like make sure to like mute my screen or like take it out of my ear because it's loud.
Yeah.
So what did you guys do during that time away? Did you do anything? Just stare at
Went
the
and said
screen?
goodnight to my kiddo.
We changed our sheet because we try to change it once a week. Well, we have two different sheets, a black one and a teal one. So we try to change between the two. And then I've been, my friend has gone through their very first experience with the beta process.
Mm.
And so I am now looking at like the notes and stuff that the feedback that the betas gave him, and writing my notes on the feedback and like answering his questions, which are largely for just like my general thoughts on the feedback. What do I think he could use for this feedback and stuff, and how do I think he could go about improving and everything, because it's his first time, so he's not sure how to read the beta feedback and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'll look at it, I'll help you.
You're a nice friend.
Do you beta read a lot, Sam?
Oh yeah, gosh. If I don't have at least one beta project going at one time, yeah. Like right now I have one, but I had three. As of 2 weeks ago, I had 3 beta reads I was doing at one time.
How about you, Samantha? Do you do a lot?
I do
reading?
when I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to beta read. I like to critique and I like to beta read, and I love that the processes are just very different. And I think I enjoy beta reading more because I just like reacting as a reader and then asking questions. And critiquing takes a whole lot more like thought process and everything, and time and focus and my memory. And I used to be a great critique partner, but like as time goes on and my migraines got bad, I was like, but do I know how to critique anymore? I don't even know. So
I used to teach it too, because when I taught college English and literature, I taught how to critique to my students so they could critique each other.
It's an important skill.
Yeah.
So Barrett, I almost said Barry. Barrett popped in and said hello. I don't know if they're still here.
Hi, Barrett.
Nikki, I went to dinner somewhere, and I said goodbye to her.
So we're leaving out. Well, we definitely got some people who are lurking because it says we have 8 people watching.
All right. Woo-hoo. I know sometimes people will just put on the playlist and let it play even when they're not watching it.
Yeah, to give peeps views.
And some people are just not chatters, or they're a bit introverted. Yeah.
Which are fine.
Yeah.
It took me a while before I started chatting in the chat. I would just watch the live streams. It took me a while before I started commenting and stuff.
I didn't know anything about the live streams until I met Barrett. So I had no idea there was a such thing as a live stream before that. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
First time I heard about live
There it goes.
Thank you. It was Kate Kavanaugh, I think, in a roundabout way. I was looking up on YouTube something about, I was trying to figure out something about Stephen King, like how many books he had or something. I was looking at for an interview from him. And so I came across her channel because of him. And then I came across by the Brooke and Courtney Projects channel, and when they used to do live streams together. I used to do them more often. It's just harder when I have unreliable internet.
Yeah. Bonnie says she's still here.
Yay!
That's fair.
I didn't work on anything. I've just been chatting with people in the chats throughout the day.
Awesome. This is the social stream. The social streams mainly have to do sprints because we used to just have chats where nobody sprinted, and then we just did the socials. But then I don't know, people were like, "There's not enough sprinting in the chat streams," and we were like,
But that's
Okay.
the point. So you don't have
Sure.
to sprint.
Yeah, I guess it's because social streams also cover that downtime between the productivity streams, so people want to keep being productive. So, but it's okay. We just do less sprints over here.
So I think this one started at the same time as a productivity this time. Probably because it's just your timing.
Did it?
I don't know.
Perhaps. I don't know. Jess sets the schedule. I'm just here.
I just figured it just meant it was people's schedule and what they could do.
Yeah. The social track is always being finagled because we're trying to like find one that works, and you know whether or not
She's a
there's
great
enough
critique partner.
posts to cover it.
She's an awesome critique partner. But she's mine. You can't have her. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Morgan.
Okay. I'm not
I'm
ready
just
for
kidding,
one
I'm-
yet. I have to
yeah.
draft. It's all right.
I'm still waiting for the rest of her third book because she did most of my book that's coming out now. She did most of that. But then she had to stop writing because of her schedule got a little bit hectic. So I have yet to see the rest of her book.
No, Nia's productivity stream started an hour before us. And then Julie's productivity sprint starts at 8, which is now. So yeah. I was double checking because I genuinely did not know. I was like, I know when the streams I'm on start, and that's it.
Yeah. I just remember when I went to go say, hello, there was like 2 starting at the same time. I thought it was this one, but maybe it was something else, or maybe I just got confused.
Oh, we did have, there was somebody had misscheduled one of their streams, but that should have been fixed. So
Oh, gotcha.
Like
Yeah,
they
not-
put
I
the
think I
wrong,
would-
like they put it for the wrong time to start.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That must have been what it was. I probably got in there because I tried to show up as soon as I could to all of them in my schedule, but it was pretty close to an hour for everything. I showed up and said hello.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
Morgan
just
says they're still working on book 3, and it's been such a struggle.
Yeah, it's a finish to her trilogy, which I remember the finish to my trilogy. It was so hard. It was so hard. I'm trying to get that. I don't know. It's something about writing that last book in a series makes it's very difficult, I think.
very bittersweet.
Well, you also got like all these storylines, especially because she writes dark fantasy. And fantasy, there's so many storylines going on. So many. And you've got to wrap them all up and bring them all together and make sure you've got a good ending to everything. So it's hard to figure out, well, what story do you want to tell? What's the goal of this last book other than just wrapping up the main storyline from book 1? But what is the goal of the book 2, as well, So yeah. At least that's what it was for me. So and then Morgan's got like this, I think she's got a middle grade, but I think she might stop that one. I don't know. And then she's got this other series that she's been drafting the outlines for. That sounds so interesting. I think it's a romance, fantasy romance, maybe. I'm trying to remember what it was. She was explaining it a couple weeks ago. And so that's why I can't remember it, because I can't dredge up what those words. I just remember being interested in it. No, it wasn't fantasy romance. I think she was going to do contemporary romance. I don't remember. Morgan, if you're still here, you can tell us.
Morgan, the peoples need to know.
And I'll probably forget again. We're not doing another sprint, are we?
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
that
I'm
was
gonna-
40 minutes,
Okay.
right? 'Cause we figured out it was 40 minutes we needed to do, right?
I just wanted to make sure before I took the stream.
Oh,
the sprint.
gotcha.
I'm trying to still remember what she said about her series because it sounded interesting. Have you guys thought about writing anything outside of your normal excuse me, your normal genre?
Funny you should say that, Shannon.
Right. You go ahead, Cindy.
Okay, so my first series was a coming of age inspired by my less than stellar upbringing, and I got that done. And then I switched to small town contemporary romance. But I have like 5 unfinished. Some of them are really detailed, like 5 pages worth of outlines. Some of them are 20,000 words. Some are just like pages, but they're all fantasy, magical, witches, and like dragons and stuff. Nothing romance contemporary at all in there. So I don't know why I decided. Maybe. I don't know. I just find it interesting that the books I have out have nothing to do with what I have unfinished written in my computer right now.
I like dragons. Have you seen the book cover?
Yeah, I did. I like it.
I got dragons.
So like the 20,000 word adventure fantasy has like a water dragon, has a princess that's found out about magic, her mom's gone. It has like fish that talk, like a fish that talks, and you're trying to like gut the fish, and it's this whole funny scene that happened in the book that I was writing, and it was funny to me. Like she's trying to like prepare the fish to cook it, and the fish is talking to her, and then the fish is like, "Here, I'll just pretend I'm not talking," and then pretends it's like a non-talking fish, and which is funny. That's that, right? I just like, and I'm like, did I really write this? Because I wrote it and then I read it again like a year and a half later. So like I'd totally forgotten about what I'd written in there. So
it sounds like a dream.
Right. I'm like, what was I writing? Yeah. I just find it interesting that the things that I've written part of the way through have nothing to do with what I've published out for people to read.
I think Bonnie might be going. Yes. She said, have a great night.
Okay.
Hi, Bonnie.
Yeah. Okay. I did remember now when Morgan put it into the chat that she was doing a cozy fantasy. That's what she was talking about a couple weeks ago that I thought was interesting. But she does have a paranormal romance series that she wants to do. And I remember her talking about that. And so I just mixed the two of them up.
That's an interesting cozy fantasy.
Yeah, cozy fantasy. That's what I was saying. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting.
I like cozy anything. Slice of life is one of my favorite genres.
I really want to do because I've developed a whole new world with where my series is at and I'm going to pick like one town that's like has a mixture of cultures and influences of the magic and have like different types of magical people there and then do like small town cozy romances in that magical town. That's what I want to do. So I just have to get there. If I'm writing one book a year basically right now. So there's going to be forever before I get there. If I didn't have the AWC going, I would have already had another book done.
That's still fast though, especially. I'm just trying to get my outline done this year. That's my goal.
So you said you said outline. So you're obviously an outliner, Samantha. How about you, Shannon? Are you an outliner or do you write? Or are you a mix?
My mix is different than anybody else I've talked to. I've been trying to define exactly what it is. And so now I have it, like I make notes, but my notes are just kind of scattered and they're just thoughts and ideas about like, here's the type of culture. This is what they'll do. This is how they'll do their names. This is how they choose to get married. Those kind of things, culture, role building on paper. But in my head, I do a visual outline, like where I actually think of words and then I write out scenes in my head and I see the words. So that I'm very visual. It does lead to like from this last book, I had a nightmare where I was fighting my antagonist and I kept losing to her. And then I would stop and I'd rewrite the scene in my dream. Like I actually was rewriting it in my dream. And then I fight her again and I kept losing and I kept losing. And it was this over and over again. And I kept losing to her. But yeah. I don't know if anyone else is a visual outliner. That's what I've kind of given the name to it because I'm an outliner, but it's in my head. And I see it.
I used to outline in my head back when my memory was much more solid, but there's nothing visual up here because I have aphantasia, so it's just like black slate all the time. As far as like visuals though, but
I used to have a good memory, and I wonder if just because now I have so many stories going on in my head, if that's why, like, I can remember my stories, I can access those, and I wonder if that's just taking so much space, and that's why I can't access other stuff anymore.
Part of it is also pregnancy. It damages our memory.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
Like if there's a thing where it can take anywhere between 6 weeks to 6 months for your brain to revert back to full function after, or like post baby, not postmortem, post baby. And postpartum. That's the word I wanted. Postpartum. Yeah, after you die, it can take 6 weeks to 6 months for your brain to function again. No, after you have a baby, and that's only if you are like lucky enough to, this like under ideal conditions where you've got somebody helping you with the baby, you're eating right, you're sleeping right, and everything. The rest of us who aren't that lucky, we're just like, well, I have sacrificed part of my brain for this child. It is what it is.
So, just Ava says they have a lot, but none are published. Middle grade paranormal series, middle grade standalone portal fantasy, a few women's fiction, adult fantasy, YA fantasy, screenplay, plus some children's book ideas, need an illustrator, and poetry books. You're just all over. They got a whole round selection of stuff going.
She also has I can't say that word.
And me neither.
Fantasia.
And Fantasia. Okay. I feel that way about my second kiddo, but he had GERDs like my husband, but they didn't diagnose it, and I couldn't think of it. I was so out of it from the pregnancy and everything that I couldn't think that that's what was going on. They just kept saying he's colic, and I was like, he sleeps for 15 minutes at a time, and then he's screaming for an hour before he goes back to sleep, and he drinks 2 ounces of milk, and that's it. And this went on for 5.5 weeks. They changed his formula 8 times. I mean, it's just finally, and I changed doctors several times, and finally got doctor who says, I think it might be reflux. Let's try this medicine. He said it would take 2 weeks to take effect. At a week and a half, exactly a week and a half, he took down a whole bottle of milk, and he slept for 24 hours straight. And I couldn't sleep during that time because I kept freaking out because I was used to him being up.
Is he gonna wake back up?
Yeah.
I guess I would have been the same.
Yeah. And I was like, you should have been sleeping. I can't. What if, something's wrong. He's sleeping.
That's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah.
This is not our normal.
So I think that like not sleeping for 5.5 weeks was just that it just messed me up.
I was like, with my first pregnancy, I had a midwife, and like up until that point, I had a freakishly good memory and stuff, right? But I'm at a doctor's appointment, and she's like, "Well, what have you been eating lately?" And I'm like, I don't. And I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Normally, my memory is so much better than this. And she's like, "Oh no, it's fine." And she's like, "You have pregnancy brain," and I'm like, "I have what?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's a thing during pregnancy. Your brain just stops working the way that it has been up to this point because your hormones are doing all kinds of weird things." And she's like, "So you'll be flighty, you'll like zone out and stuff." And she's like, "It's perfectly normal. And if anybody, gets on you about it, just say you have pregnancy brain." And I was like, "I don't like this."
Jessica says it was just my fault with my first
Postpartum
depression. Yes,
I had
pretty bad.
With my son.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think not sleeping didn't help to get back on track, and then my depression just got worse afterward. So
yeah, I had a really hard time with my youngest, mainly because he wasn't planned at all. Like I went in to get my 2 side, and they said you're already pregnant. And then, like, he spent the first 10 months of his life not sleeping and crying and not wanting to be held and all that. Then it was only after my whole right side of my body went numb from MS, and he basically lived in a playpen for like 6 weeks of his life. After that, he's like, "Oh, I'm done crying, and you can hold me all the time now." So it was a little weird how just the not being able to pick him up, he was suddenly like a light switch was in him, and he was totally fine with me holding him and me feeding him, but for some reason, for the first 10 months, it was not. Okay, so Ava says, but back then it wasn't a term people knew if they even used it, whole situation there. And then at the time in her head, it was my fault.
Yeah, I thought the same thing too. I think that even when you're in that situation, even if you know the term, because I knew the term postpartum depression, but it was never anything that crossed my mind when I was sitting there in my closet on the floor crying and the baby's crying in the crib.
It's also like one of those where they put so much like emphasis on certain things that are just not necessarily true, and they're especially not actually true for like every individual. And it's just like, oh yeah, when you have your baby, you know, you'll just have that moment where everything like clicks and like all your instincts and stuff take over, and then you just know what to do. But like that's not because like
no.
yeah, babies can't communicate well. Like they can barely communicate, and you're not a mind reader, and like you're often just so tired and stuff. You don't even like know how to communicate your own needs, let alone try to figure out this little tiny thing's needs. And that's just like so stressful, and it can genuinely build up like a level of resentment and stuff in you, because like you just spent all this time incubating this child, and then now they come out and they're just yelling at you all the time, and you're like, why, what did I do? And like it's just easy for those emotions and stuff. And then just being able to like have a day or just like an hour or so to yourself to like shower and rest and relax can do so much to reset your brain and to reset your emotions. But if you're not in a position where you can get that time, it messes with you. And but like if you voice that, or a lot of times you're like scared to voice that, because then you're like, well, am I a bad mom? Is there something wrong with me because I'm not just because I'm not just here for my child, or because I'm like on a level upset with my child for just being a baby? Like, and it's like, nah, shit's hard. And like more people need to vocalize that. That's part of why like my writing platform, I wanted to be Writing Mom, because I'm like, this stuff doesn't need to be taboo. And it's like, and writing when you have kids is hard, especially when they're young. So
I also wasn't able to breastfeed as much as I tried. And I didn't have a lot of money with my first, but with my second, we got like a very expensive breast pump to try and help out, get the milk going. And I did it for weeks and got nothing out. And I remember that taking a toll on me as part of everything. So I was like, okay, I can't do this. Why can't I do this?
And like, and that added stress, just like that's one of those like body functions that just doesn't work when you are stressed. And so then it's not working. So you're stressed even more about it. And it's just like a cycle that, yes, it's rough. Yes, can I help you?
And the other thing is that my youngest looks white. My husband is black. He came out he came out white. When he came out, they said blonde hair. And I'm like, did they say, or it was light brown? Like it turned blonde later, but now it's brown. But they said light brown hair. So, and I looked at my husband and said, did they say light brown hair? And I felt really guilty. I felt like people like in his family or my family were going to think I cheated on him or something. So, and I even told him, I remember freaking out and like, I'll take a paternity, I'll do a paternity test. And my husband's like, I don't need that. We're good.
Your husband's like, it's okay, honey. Have you looked in the mirror? You're very pale. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, and he looks just like my husband. He's just a white version.
Yeah. He just got mama's skin palette. It's all good.
Well, and
you never know what you're gonna get. Like when you mix it all up and they come out.
And years later, I like to joke with him. I was like, Julian inherited the biggest organ from me, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "Your skin is your biggest organ."
Epidermis, me. Yeah, that's like most of my family are like peaches and pinks, but like I'm a very, very light yellow brown. That's because I have exactly 1% Native American in my DNA, and I'm like, it's my undertones. That's all it is. So, but everybody else is peachy pink.
So I have a lot of dark colored background in me. I have like black, Mexican, Spanish, and Indian. Plus I have like German, Irish, and Scottish for my dad's side of the family. So the kid's biological father has Norwegian and English and Irish in there as well, and German. So blonde hair, blue eyes, very pale. when I tan really well, people assume I'm not from this country, like how dark I tan. And so my
No,
first
come
child
here,
came
I'm
out
stealing you.
very, very pale, like very pale and bald. And when her hair finally grew in, it was like white blonde. So when I would cart her around in town in Oregon, where we're from, people thought I adopted her because she looked so drastically different from me. And I didn't really go anywhere with my husband at the time. And so then when I had the second child that looks like a carbon copy of me, like dark colored, olive complexion, dark hair, all that, people in the neighborhood thought that I adopted an older sibling for her to play with because they were so drastically different coloring. Until one day in the wintertime, I was walking the older one to preschool, and some neighbor lady said something about, they adopted sister being such a good girl for her little sister, or something like that, something along that line. And I said, no, I just happened to have sex with someone that didn't look like me, lady. And then I walked off. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, but after that, no one else said anything like that because they looked so drastically different.
Yeah, my oldest looks mixed. And I remember a kid asking me when I was walking with him at a park, a kid asked me, is that your kid or did you adopt him? I was like, no, he's mine. So it's just funny how they came out. I remember telling my husband too, I was like, skin, there's no predominant color with skin. There's not like a dominant gene when it comes to skin color. So it could be like along the spectrum. And they kind of split it like 25% looks like one parent if the skin tone's really different, 25% chance that's going to be the other parent, and 50% chance it's going to be somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But even knowing that, I still felt guilty about it when he came out really white. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan. Life is good in general, I guess. Overall. Just, sleep at a normal schedule, but what's that, right?
Yeah.
I feel that.
If it says they have red tones, I think I don't burn much, and when I do, it's not painful. My husband is blonde blue, and my son seems to be following suit, but he acts like me.
I don't tan. I turn red and then go back to white.
My children tan very darkly. They're mixed white for me and Hispanic from my husband. But my husband and I have the same color undertones. And when I tan, I also tan very darkly. So there was this one time we went to the park.
Lucky.
And like my kids were kind of pale, and then they're playing outside in the sun and in the sprinklers and stuff. And I was reading something on my phone, and I look up and I could not find my kid. I was like, where the fuck did my oldest go? And then I saw a kid wearing the exact same clothes, but was very 4 shades darker than my son. And I was like, oh my God, I brought a white boy, and I'm gonna be taking a little Hispanic boy home. I was like, honey, look how dark he got. But the speed he tanned was just so fast, and I had never seen him that tan before. I was genuinely worried about where my son went. And then I felt so bad because I'm like, how could I not recognize my own son? But
I will say my youngest son does tan. He doesn't get real dark, but he tans. He doesn't turn red and then go back to white like me. So that part's nice. I wish I could. I don't even care if I tan just a little. If it would just be nice not to be bright red and feel the pain and then go back to white.
Yeah, my friend Scott, his family was of Celtic descent, and he too turned red and then went back white.
My husband actually asked me when we were dating. He's like, "Do you ever tan?" I'm like, "No, I'm white. Get used to it."
You're like, I am the whitest there.
Yeah.
I'm messing with my cat because he came to lay beside me, and this is the price he pays.
So we just got a cat a few weeks ago when we got to Texas. I think now it's about 5 months old or so. It's a good cat, it's great. It's not a fan of traveling in the car. So mainly, okay, if we go above 50 miles per hour and we're on a smooth road and it's not it's not a bumpy road. She was better. But once we slow down and we get to a stop sign or a stoplight, the cat is like, "Oh, look, it's time to go out," and he tries climbing over the steering wheel. Because
We're here.
right,
We're here.
yeah.
We're ready.
So right now we just have it like with a harness with a like leash, and I try to keep it away from the driver area, just because I was not willing to pay the price of a cat carrier, which is ridiculous these days. Like the cheapest one we found, we went to Walmart. They had a cat carrier for like $55. I'm like, I'm not buying a cat carrier for $55. But now she's gotten to the point where like we'll shut down the RV and we have one wall that has a slide out. Once that slide out is in, and then if we go outside, I help back up the truck and hook up the trailer. And then my husband will go to the door and she'll just jump into his arms and they go, "Thanks, like ready to go." Even though she knows what's coming, the car.
Well,
But we only
hopefully
have
she'll
that one.
every time.
We only have that
She'll-
one cat.
I have 4 cats and a dog. So
I got 3 cats right now. One's
What
an
is my
older
name?
girl. So she's probably not going to be around much longer, but my other 2 are brothers and they're just 2 years old.
we might have to get a new puppy soon because my dog, we just recently had to put her to sleep. It was actually Sunday. And we weren't going to get another puppy. We were like, okay, our new max total for animals is 4 because 6 is a lot.
Yeah.
But our other dog, like, they're not actually related. They're not even remotely the same breed of dog. But they were together in the rescues since they were like a couple weeks old. And they were 8 this year. And she has not been coping well being by herself. So we may get her a puppy.
Eva's gonna have 6 animals here soon.
2 fish, 2 cats, and 2 dogs. Ava wants a dog for my dog, and I wanted a kitten with a kitten friend. But also, I don't want more pets, but it's going to happen.
Yeah, I knew when I got another cat that I wanted to get brothers or whatever. I wanted siblings so that they had a play friend. Because when I got my first cat, he didn't never have a friend, and I got 2 more cats after that for it to be play friends. But neither one of them played with him really. So these 2, they play all the time. So, and then sorry.
Yeah, they play. No, sorry. Go ahead.
I was to say we want to get a dog too because ours has passed away almost 2 years now. We're almost at the point where we're ready, but we're gonna also get siblings so that they have a play friend.
Yeah. See, we were gonna wait on getting another one for a while because I don't particularly want another one yet. But I have, I do know that if like you have a dog or a cat who's like had somebody their whole life, sometimes they tradition to being a solo well, but other times like they can pass of heartbreak just like a person can. And so we're like,
Yeah.
it's the way she cries when we leave and then we come back. It's the way she cries, and then at night she'll cry by herself sometime because they used to cuddle to sleep. And so I was like, she might need a puppy because so I will get her a puppy. It'll be fine.
That's what people have asked me. Well, what if one of my kitties die? You know, how's the brother gonna do? You know, and I thought, I don't know, how would that work? Like, I think if it's, I don't know.
It's just, I think it's half personality based.
Yeah,
and it depends on them. Because I had a dog who transitioned to being solo really well, but then like I had another one who like he just lost all it. Like we had him and his sister like in the same litter, and when she passed, he basically just lost all will to live and stuff. And then my parents got him a friend, and then he was like a young pup again. He was happy and everything. So it is personality based.
Yeah, I was thinking that with my kitties. I think like my Loki, he would probably be okay if something happened to Thor, but Thor is like, you know, he's attached to Loki. So I think if something happened to Loki, Thor would just lose it.
I think if Artemis was the last cat standing, she'd be on top of the world. She'd be like, ha, those motherfuckers are gone. I'm alone. But like
Bye, Eva.
Balder and Freyr, not so much. Like this one. Would you be upset if your brother died? He's like, Mom, I don't like it when you hold me like this. Why are you doing this to me? Would you be upset? He's like, fine, I'd be sad. He's a weird cat. He likes to sit beside you, and he likes, like, if you have your arm around him, but he does not like to cuddle. He doesn't like to be on top. But then other times, if I'm like laying there, I swear he's some sort of like, low key a service cat. Because if I have a flare up coming or a migraine incoming, then he will lay on top of me to like try to comfort me and stuff. And it's gotten to the point where it's like, I don't like it when you do that anymore because I know what's coming.
Yeah. Yes, you heard right, Jordan. Loki and Thor, brothers. Yeah. I went through a lot.
We have Freyr and Balder are brothers, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. I went through like a lot of different names because like Thor's, he's a little bit, they both look very, very similar. Most people can't tell them apart. But Thor has more brown in his coat. So I was thinking like Fudge and Brownie at one point. And Brownie kind of fit Thor, but not Fudge. Fudge did not fit Loki. Although it probably would not because Loki's kind of fluffy. He eats more than his brother does. So yeah, Fudge didn't. I went through, and then I thought Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. So I was thinking Jekyll and Hyde at one point. And I went through a lot. Like I tried them on for days, and then I finally got to Thor and Loki. And I was like, "This is it."
That's what you gotta do sometimes.
Yeah.
Samantha, what are your cats' names?
Well, the brothers are Balder and Freyr. They are from a litter of 2. So we took both of them because you can't separate them when it's a whole litter of only 2. And then Artemis and Eros are our other 2.
Oh, okay. So the Greek mythology.
Yes.
When we were in Colorado, we discovered a mouse that got into our RV, which we've been living in the RV for like 5 years. So that was the first mouse in 5 years. So
that's pretty good.
That was pretty good. And so we got to Texas, got the cat. It had a different name. Out of Stubbs because the end of the tail got caught in a door or something when they were little.
Aww.
And so it's like it's almost so long like the regular tail, just the very tip is gone. So they named it Stubbs, but my daughter was like, I don't like the name. Let's change the name. So we went through a bunch of names, and now because we got her to chase the mice away, her name is Buffy the Mouse Slayer.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
I had a dog years ago that I named Lady, and then my mom took her because when I had my first son and he started moving around, she had been abused severely by somebody before me. And she was used to me moving around the house, but my son, when he started moving, oh my gosh, she got so scared, and she started tearing up like everything around the house because he would scare her. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what else to do with her because she's not comfortable anymore with us because of my kiddo. Can't make my kiddo not move. He's gonna,
right.
Kids move. So my mom took her. Shortly after that, we got a puppy, and I let my husband name her and named her Sadie, which is German for lady.
Oh.
So I was like, we replaced it, but we got her as a puppy. So she was good, but we did find out pretty early that her hips were bad. And that was why we never got her a playmate, because the doctor said if it said one wrong move, it could make her hips go out and her back, and she'd go numb, paralyzed. So
our dog Vi, I love her. She don't listen. She when she was younger, she would jump in such a way that it would hurt her leg. Like, I don't know if she was like pulling it or what she was doing, but I would tell her, I'm like, Vi, you can't jump like that, because when you jump like that, you hurt yourself. And now she just permanently has like it's not a bum leg, but it's a bad leg. And like, so I see her, she like try to sit on it really light, and it's like, I tried to tell you. It's like it's been like that for 2-3 years now. But like at first she would just do it, and then she'd favor it for a while, and then it would heal. But now it's just like that.
You say sometimes your pets will take after you. It was making me wonder, because my kitty cat that I had before these ones, like I fell down a mountain in Hawaii and I broke up my ankle. I had broken it once already in the desert, but then I tore it up more when I fell down. And then my cat tripped down the stairs and his leg had to be put into a cast at the same time. I'm like, what's going on here?
You're not supposed to be that attached.
I know, but he was really attached to me.
Yeah.
And I was attached to him, of course. My husband, we just passed our 15th anniversary, and he got me this. It's of my kitty. I think I got it up there to look, but it's a picture of him, and it's like 3D
Oh, that's awesome.
because he's
That's
passed
really-
now.
Oh.
Made me cry.
Speaking of pets and Thor, there's a book called Thundercluck, and it's about Thor's chicken,
Oh,
and it has thunder powers. Just a
That's
kid.
funny.
My sister got it for me, and she was like, "Here you go," and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's Thor's chicken!" And I remembered that. Yes, Balder.
and his name was Cat because I thought I was in the military. I got him because I had a mouse in my house. So I got him to get rid of the mouse, and I thought being military, I was going to move, and I probably wouldn't be able to take him with me. Depending on where.
So you're trying not to get attached.
So I was trying not to get attached. And when I figured out, okay, I'm going to get out. I'm not staying in the military anymore. And I told my son, he was 5 then. I was like, you can go ahead and name him. And he called him Ranch. He was a really, really smart cat. So he would go by Cat Ranch. Like he would respond, like his tail or his ear, or he just like look at you. But he would respond to his name. You call him any of the other animals' names, nothing. But you call him Cat Ranch, Kitty Cat, Kit Cat. He would respond to all of those. So I miss him.
He's like, I know when it is I.
Yeah, he knew all his names. And he was the one that I would like take outside on walks, and I didn't have to put a leash or anything on him because if I didn't keep up with him, he'd turn around and fuss at me until I caught back up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Like, Mom, you're going too slow. I'm very into torturing this cat right now. Although, for legality, I'm not actually torturing him. I'm just
There you go.
messing with his paw.
The cat that we got, it's a tabby, and those paws are so long, even at 5 months old. I know like cats can be big, about this long, almost as the front paw is almost as long as my thumb. So that's a pretty decent size for like a 5-month-old cat. I don't know, but that cat, like the first couple of nights, it would just stay on our bed. We're on a queen bed, and then run around the green part of the RV. And then like the RV will have like a window with like a valance thing up above it. And the cat would climb up the wall and like got up there. So we trained it not to do that by just removing the cat. I mean, how else do you train a cat? Just remove it constantly.
Yeah.
But that
I don't like
is-
tape. I put double-sided tape on stuff where I don't want them to go
Oh,
because they don't like that stickiness on their
Yeah,
paw.
I would imagine like,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Our cat is the clumsiest kitten I've seen in my entire life. Like it'll be sitting on the edge of our bed, and it'll sit up and it'll lay down, and next thing you know, it's like licking its foot or whatever, and it falls off the edge onto the floor or off the couch onto the floor. And so on one end of the RV, we have full-size bunk beds with like a wooden ladder attaching the two. And the cat will try to like climb up the ladder, the side of the ladder, as like a rope. It is comical. And then she'll jump down to the bottom bunk, and she'll miss all the time. But very, like, if I didn't know better, that cat needs glasses.
Mine used to do it because they would sleep up here on my desk with me. When they were little, they just roll over and roll right off. I'm like, there's an edge there. Now they don't do it anymore.
I was testing my reflexes.
Right.
Yay.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank
Jordan.
you.
Thank you.
We should probably wrap up because the next social stream starts in 19.
Okay. Sam, you can go first, please.
Hi, I'm writing mom Samantha L Nasset. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer parent things. I host live streams very much like these on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you would like to read samples of my writing, I have a spooky flash fiction and a villainous murder short story on my website, SamanthaLNasset.com. And while you're there, if you want, you can sign up to my newsletter to keep up to date with all things Sam. I also help co-organize this event, and keep in mind that the playlist down below, or should be linked down below. Are they linked?
Yes, they're down below.
Cool.
Down in the description box.
Yes. You
Yes.
can just use those to follow to go to all of the streams. And yeah, to see you.
My turn?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming. My name is Shannon. I write under the pen name of S.C. Houston. I am the author of the Clash of Goddesses series, which is a YA fantasy, but next I'm coming out with a fantasy romance series. My first book is going to be available to buy/pre-order. It's kind of pre-order, but it's through Kickstarter. So it's kind of a pre-order because you don't get it right away. But there's lots of great things with the different tiers stuff. I'd love for you to check it out. You can go to the link tree that is linked down below in the description box, and it is the first one that's on the link tree there. Or you can go to Kickstarter and look up A Curse of Scales and Feathers, and you'll find it there. It is a pre-launch page. It goes live on Thursday, this coming Thursday, and then on Friday we have the Author Tube Writing Conference, which is starting up, and that will be 3 days of lots of great presentations. I'm looking forward to that, and it's a lot of stuff that. A lot of organization to put it all together, but it's going to be an awesome event. And we actually, I don't think I said this, but we have over $2,800 worth of prizes to give away during the conference. So I did a lot of outreach this year to different companies, to like Scrivener, Scribbler, Writing Academy. That's Jessica Brody's, it does the Writing Academy. Pseudo Write. I mean, all of them gave us giveaway prizes, donated stuff for the giveaway prizes. So yes, so I'm looking forward to that. And we actually do have a sponsor this year too by Fictionary, which is an online software that helps you visualize your novel. And with me being more of a discovery writer, it really helped me because I do like a reverse outline. So it really helped me to see it without having to do a reverse outline. I was able to just plug my novel in and then see what I needed to see with my plot points and characters and everything. So, and they're offering 1 free month to everybody at the conference. So yeah.
Nice.
So lots of great stuff coming up. And I do sprints morning times. I'm not a night person. It's probably why I don't see you very often, Sam, because I'm not really a night person.
Okay.
So
I am usually sleeping in the morning, so that's why I don't see you.
Yeah.
We've just accepted this about we
Yes.
see each other during the weekend relay.
Right. That's when I usually see you. Yeah. And I get up early because we have our kiddo. He's an early riser. And then we also go to the gym. My husband and I switch off. He takes the kid one morning. I go to the gym. The next morning we switch off. So, and we both go early in the morning. So, yeah. So, but I usually sprint most mornings, Monday through Thursday usually, and every other Friday.
Thanks everyone for coming. My name is Stephanie. I write underneath the name S.M. Whitson. Currently, I have 2 different series, a coming of age series and a small town contemporary romance series available on Amazon and most other ebook places as well. You can find the links to all my books in my link tree down below. I also have a website. It's not very current, but it's there, and it has all of my information there as well. I mainly have blogs type style videos on this channel about traveling and writing, and there's also videos of me sightseeing places as I'm traveling around the country as well. I am not a morning person in any way, shape, or form. I think
most YouTubers are night people. Most of them are.
I'm just thankful my kids are not early risers because I don't think I could ever trick my brain into being an early riser. So
mine are self-sufficient enough that they just come and check on me, and like I'll wake up as I feel their presence in the room, and then they
yes. I was just explaining to the kids, like, you don't even have to say anything. You just have to stand there at the foot of my bed, and I'll wake up because I detected disturbance of the force around me. They thought it was weird, but it's a thing.
We're trying to get him there, but like this morning he forgot to take his medicine because he's on like 3 different medicines in the morning. So
that's
I was like, So I was like, we have to still get up and make sure that he's, getting everything. But we're trying to train him. Train sounds like a bad word.
I get you.
Yeah,
it does sound bad.
It's an accurate word, though.
Yeah,
it's fine. You do have to train your children to be able to do things. So we also, like, if we say we're training ourselves to do something, nobody looks at us weird. But we say, we're training our children. It's like, what? How else are you going to teach them a habit?
Yeah, true.
Right, exactly. Okay. I think that's it. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and end the broadcast. Thanks everyone for showing up, and thanks for being patient with me.
Thanks for having us on, Stephanie.
Yeah.